Something strange has been occurring. The more I talk with people, repeatedly they keep asking me as to, I need to tell each and every one of you what exactly this podcast is about. What is this corruption notion? What is this racketeering? I have been telling you all of this. It's already on the website, in the narrative. The very same narrative and the events as they occurred, and they were reported to the Department of Justice and the US Senators Ossoff and Warnock, their offices. They forwarded them to the Department of Justice. Racketeering being, if you look at the case of President Trump, where people collude, where entities collude towards one objective, which is corrupt, then the collective are alleged to have been involved in racketeering. I fail to understand what is so difficult. Okay, I'm going to simplify it. The last time I finished on, where I was narrating the episode on an Irish chat show where a lady called Annie Murphy, who had a relationship with Bishop Eamon Casey and had a child, was being crucified by the public, by the audience, and the so-called biggest show host in the history of Ireland, Gay Byrne. Since then, the inquisition into the historical activities of the Catholic Church and the juggernaut that is steamrolling it, all and sundry, has begun. It's occurring, it's happening. Nobody's immune. Nobody that comes to the fore has been left untouched. There were priests that were referred to me for counseling by the bishops in Ireland. And of course, I cannot divulge what occurred in those counseling sessions, but one thing is apparent. The public colluded by being in a state of denial. Anybody who opened their mouth, they were verbally lynched and ostracized from community for speaking against the church. Not so anymore. My experience has been the same in the state of Georgia. They have not been able to put a noose around my neck, but every platform I go to, it's the public that comes to attack me. The last one who came to the defense of Governor Brian Kemp who stated, oh, I don't know what he's talking about. We need proof of corruption, convictions, court orders. Well, Madam and your cohorts, that is the whole problem in the state of Georgia. Convictions. They will come when the state capitol, when the Department of Law, when the state bar and its members will do their duty with due diligence. When the Department of Justice will get off its sorry ass and smell the crap right under their noses. No, it does not matter. They have too much on their hands. Okay? Bring in people. Prosecute all and sundry in one go. I'm giving you the opportunity. The opportunity that was presented to me while they were trying to put a noose around my neck, and it's taken 10 years, and I'm starting to breathe again. From the governor, from the governor's office, the Supreme Court and its subordinates, State Bar of Georgia, its members, judges, the documents are all on the website. It's called griftersnet.com. Grifters are petty criminals. Grifters net. I'm catching the fish, the mackerel, the stinky ones, the poopy ones. I've caught them. They're in the net. Read. Surely the US education has not sunk to such low where you can't even read or write, but you can have an opinion based upon what? I am providing you facts. I'm talking about facts. Brian Kemp, governor of the state of Georgia. He was Secretary of State. It was brought to his notice. It was brought to his staff's notice. Meetings were held where all agreed. I have had meetings with individuals who are serving in the Supreme Court. Yes, Supreme Court judges. Yes, Court of Appeals judges, administrative judges, former attorneys general, chief judges. One and all, they concurred, it is filth, it is so corrupt. Just in case you are just crawling out from under a rock, just look at Fulton County Superior Court. The DA, she should be whiter than white, pun intended. They ain't no white no more. The blacks are moving into the offices. Look what the attack is upon her character. Even Brian Kemp has joined in. Even Brian Kemp has joined in into the prosecution of Trump. Even Brian Kemp and his officials have plenty to say about anything and everything that is going on in Fulton Superior Court and what is happening to President Trump. Allegedly, Brian Kemp stated, and WSB TV states, it's on websites, community websites like Nextdoor, which is controlled by entities very, very close to political parties. They have neither respect nor regard for the First Amendment, and they have censored me. They've taken off my posts, which are very simple, like questions asking, why is Georgia so corrupt? People can write about anything and everything, not I. So, I was gonna give you each and every individual at the end of the postcards that I have met with, what transpired. That includes from the gubernatorial office to the chair of Judiciary Committee to the floor leaders of the governor, to academics, to judges, to chief judges. It's all coming. It's all coming. I am only one entity, just in case you haven't noticed. But I exhausted each and every avenue that is open in law. Each and everyone, government and otherwise. Maybe there's a God who's got a weird and wicked sense of humor, because all of a sudden, it's not just the DeKalb sewage system that reeks from here to high heaven. The legal system, which is no better than the DeKalb sewage system, is starting to reek, and the stench is coming. Mediocre attorneys provided, which underwear they are polishing. They can make $500,000 and more for what? I have absolutely no idea. I have sat with judges, the very highest in caliber and intellect. I'm looking at a pile of garbage. Checks are written. It's all about billing, just like anything and everything else. Billing. Eventually, the mental health provision services have been taken to court, federal court, by families who allege, and I will concur, poor quality of service to their children. Poor? They should be in prison. Brian Kemp was the Secretary of State when it was brought to his notice by I and to his officials what was happening, what was occurring in the licensing board, Georgia Composite Board, led by the Honorable, the disgusting Briggs Zimmerman with a BA, who, and I told the Secretary of State and his staff, and all and sundry, he and the board members, they destroyed evidence. They destroyed minutes of the meetings. They went to any and every extreme to destroy me. And thereon, every avenue that was open to me in law, I tried to utilize it, and then it became apparent that I was to be buried at all cost. Because when I instigated the proceedings, Georgia was having a bigger problem with LSAC exams, Law School Admissions Council exams, and GSEC exams. This, like I said in the podcast, and I'll reiterate, was being discussed even by Judge Sean LaGrua, she's on the Georgia Supreme Court, and Dean Kamenshine, the Dean of School of Law at Georgia State. So that should be enough for now. Learn to listen to a story. I'm the one who's been lynched, but I ain't dead yet. They've tried to do the George Floyd on me. I'm still alive, and I'm coming back to breathing. And I can narrate one line, which was stated by a senior corporate manager of Barclays Bank in the United Kingdom, when he said to me, "God help anybody who underestimates you." I ensured he was held accountable. While my wife was on the deathbed and I had 2 little babies in my lap, he tried to destroy me. He tried to screw my accounts. He destroyed my business. Guess what? He's penniless and bankrupt now. So God help anyone who underestimates me. If you listen to the podcasts, you will see the company I kept. Being rich does not grant you status. In my case, being poor granted me status because every penny I had or I earned, I spent on people who were more needy than I was. Right now, I'm penniless. And I'm fighting the biggest demon on planet Earth, the US legal system. American Bar Association knows exactly what I'm talking about. They do the same. Hey, it's under the state now. The state has governance over it. Well, there you go. The state of Georgia. Banana republics can learn a lot from the state of Georgia. Corrupt. It's easier to tag anyone and everyone in office as corrupt till proven otherwise. That'll be an easier job. Department of Justice, are you listening to me? Maybe because you cannot read or write, I have put this on record so that you can understand me. Is that slow enough? The amount of evidence I have provided thus far. President Trump is being dragged through the court system. It does not amount to 0.001% of what I have provided on paper, black and white, vocally. And I will give you the list of all the people I met with. I promise you, I have that list. And all events that occurred, the conversations that took place, the meetings that took place since 11th of April, 8:50 a.m. 2014 in Macon, in the offices of the one and only Brick Zimmerman with a BA and the clowns that were referred to as members of the licensing board. Governor Brian Kemp, he was abused by them. His staff told me so. Chuck Harper, Grant Thomas, Candace Brose, you were privy to what was said at different meetings. That when Brian gets into the gubernatorial office, he will deal with all those personnel. So why the hell have you all become as scarce as the hen's teeth? Are you the dentist for the hen? Because there are a lot of myths around here, and they're all myths. But one thing is constant: the egregious nature of corruption. I can prove it. But when a former attorney general said, when a senior serving assistant attorney general said, it'll be a cold day in hell when the state of Georgia allows you to have a hearing. Spot on, sirs. I have always had faith in God and in people. For the first time in my life, it has been seriously and severely challenged. Not one has stood up. Member of the legislature, member of the judiciary, or member of the state capitol, if they took a baby step, they disappeared. They are nowhere to be seen. And rest assured, anything and everything I say, I can prove it. I have absolute proof. No insinuations. So, what is it that you want from me? When the media personalities told me, you have no idea how stupid the public is, what you're talking about, they will have absolutely no clue as to what you're talking about. You know what? I'm beginning to believe that. Is the public stupid? No, it goes back to Connor's mother. He's stupid, but he's not that stupid. So you are stupid, but not that stupid. Go figure it out. If you want to talk with me and you want me to explain what that means, I have plenty of time on hand. And I can assure you, I still have time for people. I do. Despite what has occurred, I still have faith in people and I have time for them. So, all I'm asking you to do is remember what happened to the Catholic Church. We're just picking on Catholic Church for now. No one would have believed what was to follow since that interview in Ireland on a TV channel called RTE, which is their national TV station. The only thing missing was the guillotine. Like I said, there has to be a God after all. The ride for the Catholic Church thereon has been nothing short of being stripped bare, dragged through the bushes, and being publicly whipped. This continues. On the other hand, time and again, dichotomous declarations for and against reformation to the industry of law have been made without meaningful change, and always to the detriment of the ordinary citizen in whose interest the law must favor. American Bar Association has always stood by idly. So they thought they could starve me. As they say time and again on the websites, he needs to move to a different state. Why the hell should I? The filth that's on the washing line, including your grandma's dirty knickers, they are soiled by you. You go and clean it. I will keep pointing out that's where the stench is coming from. The meek shall inherit the earth. And the filth shall inherit the state of Georgia? The Congress, the Senate is full of attorneys. Full of attorneys. You will never see a bigger pile of filth, including in the banana republics. So the similarities. The priest who was abusing the child was standing at the pulpit, giving blessings and whatever they do to the families that were standing in front of him. are kneeling in front of him. So does the American Bar Association and its affiliates. And nobody does anything. For the first time in a long time, a DA, Fani Willis, is being challenged in court, and the judge is hearing the motions filed by, of all the people, President Trump's attorneys. The law is practiced in the public interest. The law is made in the public interest. But in the US of A, unless I have money in my pocket, or it has to be bigwigs with deep pockets, that what should have concerned a simple ordinary citizen and the needs should have been met with offers of equity and remedy, they have all been defecated upon. And the ones who do not understand simple English, and you keep saying, I have to make it clear. The entire US legal system shit on me. Yes, you get it now? They shat on me, including the US Supreme Court. Read what is on the website. They're all there. Each and every document that was submitted. The media, the famed media, what a pile of trash. You people ran from me so that you could safeguard the spending of the political parties for electioneering, because there's billions to be had. Who the hell am I? What are you going to get from me? Nothing? A small bit of news versus millions of dollars? Simple choice, isn't it? Integrity, respect, good people, you are nothing but filth. A comparison comes to mind of a $5 hooker who's drenched in every STI and STD. You are much worse than her or him, because at least they provide some joy before they infect you. You, on the other hand, are not only screwing I and people like me, you are actually screwing the future generations. These idiots still don't understand. For generations to come, they are in debt. So if Brian Kemp gave you 2 cents, your great-great-great-great-grandchildren are in the debt as it stands. That's how stupid you are, the likes of Jair Howard and Peggy McBraers. Did you get it now? That's how stupid you are. Am I making it clear? So let's carry on, because this is about this case where it has to be investigated, starting from the onset of 8:50 a.m. 11th of April 2014 in Macon, in the office of the Georgia Composite Board for licensure of professional counselors, marriage and family therapists, and social workers, with Brick Zimmerman with a BA at its helm of dysfunctionality and corruption. Now, little streams have begun to bring the stench from all corners of judicial corruption, which runs wild, without offering of penance or fear of repercussions and accountability. It is the politicians who have always been the puppeteers. And they have puppeteers, the super PACs, who have their hands up their ass. So when their mouths open and their lips move, it's not the politicians, it's the real puppeteers. Politicians are the secondary puppeteers. Hence, they let the judiciary run riot because one thing, dysfunctionality, eventually public becomes headless chickens. They don't know where the hell they're going, who they're clucking at. So they can do whatever it is that they wish to do. And for the last 300 years and more, they let the judiciary run riot because the judiciary always did the bidding of the masters, of the politicians, the master puppeteers. This is the theory I will present and put to test for the public to decide. I'm repeating myself. It's called I reiterate. The proof, written and otherwise, is overwhelming. It will leave no one with a shadow of doubt about the guilt of the corrupt. All the way to the US Supreme Court, the inaptitude and corruption are egregious in nature and an abomination in practice. All I ask is, please be patient and listen carefully, and I shall be very grateful, because not only would you grant me some peace of mind, you will save misery to hundreds and thousands who will follow us. And hopefully, there will be checks and balances in place, that the turds from DeKalb's sewage system do not take human form and end up in legislature and in offices of governance. Time to wake up. The stench is overpowering. If you were to listen to people around you instead of lining your own pockets and me. Every day, angry people, when they're pointing guns in places of worship or in supermarkets, they did not fall from Russia or from China. It is not a conspiracy by an alien nation. It is the fruit of your own inaction, of your own stupidity, of your own me, my. Oh my. What depths, what depths, what next? For now, this podcast, it is for the attention of entities such as the Department of Justice. So, keep the word racketeering to the fore of your mind. State of Georgia and the South has given extra judicial death penalty to many an innocent who had a lot less to disclose than what I am about to reveal. So help me God. There are times I wonder if God actually heads this way. Maybe this is out of his, her, their control too. Pun intended. Fiat justitia ruit caelum. So says Supreme Court of Georgia. And then the shit runs wild. Let justice be done, though the heavens may fall. I'm trying not to laugh because this is a sick joke. Fiat justitia ruit caelum. Let justice be done, though the heavens may fall. I have a weird and warped mind. When I'm talking about one thing, there are hundreds of files that open up inside my head. It's a huge library. I've always struggled with it since I was 4 years of age. I was assessed, diagnosed my lunacy as 157, aged 11, at my entrance exams to the Air Force Academy to be trained as a pilot. That's a curse. I was told by Dr. Tom Fahey, Professor of Psychiatry at the National University of Ireland, Galway. Sam, it's your cross to bear. People may not understand what you can understand in a second. They may not understand in a day, in a month, in a year, never. But that's your cross to bear, not theirs. So, my cross to bear, and a file opens up, and the phrase comes up. Nero fiddled while Rome burned. Let me repeat. Nero fiddled while Rome burned. It is used to express the two meanings of the word fiddle. First, it presents the picture of an individual playing a musical instrument as he took a sadistic pleasure in the terrible misfortunes of others. Secondly, it represents ineffectual effort. Sounds familiar? Welcome to the good old US of A. Still selling snake oil as a remedy for all ails. The world and its public. There is one God, one deity. It's green and it has funny pictures on it. From $1 to $500 and more is called the dollar. And the lambs that go to slaughter, here comes election again. You never get rid of the darn thing. It keeps going round and round and round. And the lamb and the sheep, they stand up in lines and they go and elect the very same who ruined their lives in the past. They made it hard as it stands now. And the pile of garbage they are leaving for the future generations. And one day, what the public is going to do is point fingers at everybody else except themselves. Simple lesson, a simple instruction I gave to people who said, how do I begin to understand who I am? Stand in front of the mirror before you do anything once you wake up. Look at yourself, introduce yourself, and see what you have to be proud of. Make friends with yourself. Get to know yourself. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. But the caveat, if you were to do it honestly, it's the hardest thing in life you ever gonna do. Two things that have become a matter of extreme confusion for me. One, the conservatives and their obsession with grabbing of genitalia, while the liberals are either dancing up and down poles, walking into poles, or simply acting like poles. Recently, we had a president who is running to be the president again, who's on record as stating that when he wants a woman to know he fancies her, he grabs them by the pussy. Arise, Sir Donald Trump, and take a bow. He had the unequivocal support of true Christians like the evangelists. Miss Bieber continued to blame anything and everything and everyone for her transgressions, but refused to take responsibility for her actions. Two simple people, two simple reflections of the society we live in. On August 27, 2020, a Liberty University graduate claimed Jerry Falwell Jr.'s wife, Becky, climbed into bed and performed oral sex on him when he stayed at their home. So threesome was a commonplace. Mr. Falwell is a conservative leading light who also got caught with his pants down. On camera, of all places. Well, raising the flag is an honor, of course, so why not on camera? Flag he did not raise, but the pole he did, and he got caught. Now we have dithering, diabolical Biden with Bidenomics. His cognitive functions are so poor that he may have the US military bomb us and our so-called allies to oblivion and claim collateral damage. Unless they too are once again found in drugs-induced delirium. They were. The soldiers who were guarding the nuclear arsenal. Repeatedly, there is widespread drug use in our military. Please check the latest news to emerge from South Korea before frothing at the mouth. Why am I giving you these examples? So it may open your God-forsaken minds. I do not make stories up. Never have, never will. I state facts. You don't like it? Tough shit. If still you're not beginning to get a true picture of where we are at this given moment in time, in this ocean full of poop, with our direction paddle or a prayer. No, you don't have Jesus. No, God is not going to save you. Like the Muslim bloody suicide bombers go finding their way to heaven. You're all dumb shit. Person who commits suicide in the name of God, as a Muslim, goes straight to hell. A Muslim who knowingly does harm to an innocent goes straight to hell. So you and suicide bombers, may you rot in hell, because it is very clearly written in the very book that you hold above your head. How many more examples am I supposed to give you? If you can't smell your own poop, you're so used to it. Or like Liz's pappy said, you're so used to holding your own poop in the palms of your hand and then hoping God will turn it into gold. Welcome to the USA. Dreams turn to nightmares. American dream, often stated, 1,000 have to suffer for one to prosper. You still haven't figured it out? Before you tell somebody else to have a clean house, clean your own house. Can I please get on with my miserable life? Because I'm telling you exactly what you need to know. You are slaves. Slaves. What the whites did to blacks, the blacks in office are in a hurry to supersede what the whites did. I will give you the examples. They will come. Very real. Black, white, female, male, yes. It's not because I made them black and white. It's because I made them male or female. It's because that is what is occurring on a daily basis. And I'm barely surviving. You think the thoughts don't go through my head that I should not wake up the next morning? They're less frequent, but they're still there. I'm still struggling. But I have to do this. That's why I'm doing it. Because if you are that stupid, because if you despise yourself so much, then at least for the sake of your children and the future generations, give me some time. Just listen to what I'm saying. The proof is there. Beg, borrow, steal, I've done it all to put this website together and to provide you with absolute proof. Absolute proof. I guarantee you that. So just make some time for me. All the podcasts put together will take less than one screening of Super Bowl. So you decide where your priorities lie. Hopefully, I have given you the introduction that all and sundry were looking for. Or I can talk for hours more and give you absolute proof. More and more and more. I have a library between my ears and I'm pretty intelligent. By any standard, my peers told me. And I will share some stories with you as time goes on. For now, please be patient. I'm not going to ask you to trust me because you have absolutely no idea who the hell I am. So go down to griftersnet.com and see if you can find what you're looking for. For now, please be good. If you can't be good, please try to be good. And if you can do neither, just keep yourself to yourself. Thank you.